Marlon Mack ran all over the Texans' tough defense last week and could be in for another productive day against the Chiefs on Saturday. Photo by USA Today Sports. Marlon Mack ran all over the Texans' tough defense last week and could be in for another productive day against the Chiefs on Saturday. Photo by USA Today Sports. The divisional round of NFL playoffs kicks off this weekend as the journey to Super Bowl LIII continues. We bring you the must-read betting notes to help you crack the NFL odds for the second week of playoff football. Tate's big day if we're not counting Bears kicker Cody Parkey. Receiver Golden Tate is Philadelphia's hero this week after his last-minute touchdown grab gave the Eagles the lead and eventually the win on Sunday. Tate wound up catching 5 passes for 46 yards, finally validating the third-round pick that the Eagles paid to acquire him back at the trade deadline. Tate and the Eagles travel to New Orleans on Sunday to take on the Saints as a 7.5-point underdog with a game total of 50.5. Tate will be in a good spot to have another nice performance against a Saints defense that is ranked 22nd in passing DVOA. The game script could also be in his favor as the Eagles should be chasing points as a big underdog, although that was also supposed to happen last week and didn't. Tate posted 5 catches for 48 yards back in Week 11 when Philly got smoked at the Superdome, and we're expecting a similar receiving line this week. Take the over on his receptions total, assuming it's set at 4.5 when prop markets open later in the week. No answers in Philly's backfield heading into wildcard weekend. We talked about how Philadelphia's backfield has become a running back committee. Things became a bit more clear on Sunday as Josh Adams was taken out of the game plan with 1 carry for 2 yards. Darren Sproles wound up leading the Eagles in carries with 13 for 21 yards, while Wendell Smallwood took 8 handoffs for 20 yards. Both recorded 2 receptions, while Sproles outsnapped Smallwood 38-28. We predicted last week that Sproles would be heavily involved as the preferred pass-catching option in a game where the Eagles were supposed to have been playing catch-up. Instead, Philly played with the lead for most of the game and Sproles was still the no.1 back, although he lost us a bet by coming up 4.5 yards shy of his receiving yards total. This week is very similar for the Eagles as they are a big road dog and going against one of the best run defenses in the NFL as the Saints rank 3rd in rushing DVOA. However, there's one big difference between New Orleans and Chicago. The Bears rank 10th in passing DVOA against running backs, while the Saints rank 29th. We expect Sproles to be the preferred backfield option on Sunday and for Foles to target him a few more times than he did this past weekend. We're again taking the over for Sproles' receiving yards total. Chargers activated Hunter Henry from injured reserve on Monday, meaning he'll be making his season debut as Los Angeles plays New England on Sunday. There were reports early last week that he'd be on the field for the wildcard game after getting in some practices last week, but that didn't happen. It will be hard to trust Henry on Sunday as he's likely to play just a handful of snaps as he works his way back from the ACL tear he suffered during OTAs. At 6'5", Henry is a big target who could make a key play or 2 on 3rd down or in the red zone after catching 12 touchdowns through his first 29 games in the NFL. The Patriots are one of the better teams in the league at defending tight ends with a DVOA rank of 8 against the position. However, the Pats did allow 8 touchdowns to opposing tight ends, which is tied for the 5th most in the league. We're not big on backing players in their first games returning from injury, but if you're looking for a high-risk, high-reward bet, backing Henry to go over 0.5 touchdown receptions or to score a touchdown at any time could pay out nicely. Another Mack attack? Marlon Mack faced a very tough matchup against Houston's top-ranked defense in rushing DVOA and proceeded to go off for 148 yards and a touchdown on 24 carries. We'd like to say we saw it coming, but we didn't. We did get a winner in backing Mack to score a touchdown at any time, but we thought he'd have a hard time reaching his rushing yards total of 49.5 against the stout Houston front seven. On paper, this week's matchup is much juicier for Mack as the Colts take on the Chiefs, who ranked dead last in the league in rushing DVOA. The Chiefs allowed 132.1 rushing yards per game, 27th in the NFL, on 5 yards per carry, 31st in the league. Indianapolis should come out with a run-heavy approach on Saturday in hopes of keeping Patrick Mahomes off the field, much like Seattle did when it gave Chris Carson 27 carries in its Week 16 upset of KC. We're taking the over on Mack's rushing yards total for the divisional round. Stay on top of all the injuries for the second round of the playoffs with our injury report.